You're talking to me. Try again.
Whoa. Steps and we're going to over and sit down and lights out. Well, hello, hope you're all well. Hope I'm coming over loud and clear. Right, as you can see, a bit of a picturesque view this morning. That's the River Douglas, or if you're from Wigan, the River Duggy. But basically, you know the thumbnail which I put onto this video, before you even start watching this video, it's nothing to do with it really. You know me, you have to watch me in some ways. I like being different, as you know. Now it is about footprint, but it's not about that footprint. And basically it's about the PG Patterson Gimbalin film what everybody's been going on about. I'm glad it's been brought up, and there again I'm not. So I just thought I'd do a quick video on it, to be honest. But I want to know your thoughts as well on this, so please comment below and we'll find out more between us. Yeah, so this film what's come to light, so-called, well, I mean, it's one of the most, well, basically there's only another one what's probably equal to that, and that's the moon landing. But there again, they've lost the tapes. But also, they've lost the tapes on this one. Let me explain. So basically, this film has come to light where it's a bit of a, it sounds like a bit of a test rig. Not many people have seen it yet, called Capturing Bigfoot. And it's supposed to be a run-up to the actual main film which you've all seen, a Patterson Gimbalin film. But basically, I've heard different rumours about it. It's surfaced apparently at Boeing, and it's a funny time to, you know, it to kind of surface. I mean, back then the original Patterson Gimbalin film I don't think was about, but this one at this time, how we are in the present world, maybe, I might be wrong, but that's what it tells me. But you know, we know how it is. It's so hard at the moment. The world's fighting against us in every direction. As you know, I'm not going to go into that, but everybody will understand. But basically, yeah. So this film, I've heard a few theories, and I've heard a few theories when I've looked into it after it's been kind of spoke about, that people saying, oh yeah, it's the same suit, costume, whatever, as in the actual Patty film. And then I've heard rumours where I've delved a bit more into it, and I've known that through a few channels, and one particular, I'm not going to start naming any names, but apparently he's seen the stills from the Capturing Bigfoot. It's so-called popping around a tree or something, I don't know, but he says he's seen stills and it's not the same suit as what's in the Patty film, which is interesting for a start. So it gets you onto the actual Patterson Gimbalin film. Now, like I say, I'm glad it's surfaced because a lot more people start looking into this, but I felt it was kind of, in the past it was kind of left, but it seems with this Capturing Bigfoot it's popped back up again. So yeah, so I just got me thinking a bit more into it, because we don't really talk about it. I thought, well, let's have a look into it, and I actually started looking into it with Bill Munns, and Bill Munns is the actual well, he was well known in the actual film world, Hollywood, as one of the top people who were actually, you know, on the horror side of things, making costumes, and you know, he knows his stuff. He's world renowned, and like I say, he's worked for all the top films. Planet of the Apes, funny enough, you'll see that in the next video, so just, you know, make a mark of that he was in the Planet of the Apes, and you'll get what I'm getting when you get to that point in the next video. But basically, he knows his stuff. Now, Bill Munns, actually, what he wanted to start doing is actually done a book on the lines of 1 minute 47 years. That's how long he's been looking into it, so he must know his stuff, to be honest. Now, Bill Munns wanted the original, as he call it, a Gen 1 copy of the Patterson Gimlin film, and he kind of knew of one in Canada, so he went over, copied it, brought it back, but it was cropped by 70% apparently. So he thought, well, that's no good. So he actually found out, and he went over and he saw Roger's wife. I think her name was Patricia, if I'm right. And he went over there, and she stood over him for 5 hours, because it was the original reel of the film, why he copied it. Now, when he got back, he started going through it, and it was a Gen 2. And he thought, what's going on here? It's something not right. Now, apparently, when he's got back to Roger's wife, she said a researcher came in the 1980s and took it away, copied it, I'm not going to mention any names, and gave her the original one back. But apparently he didn't. He gave her the copy back and kept the original. So the actual tape of the original Patterson Gimlin film is missing. Nobody knows where it is. So we really, when the Capturing Bigfoot video, the film what's coming out, we're talking about it, oh yes, this, that, you can't really say, because they've not actually got the original film to go off, because every copy you make is slightly different in a way. So it's a 16mm film, and like I said, Bill Munns started looking back into it. Now, when he started looking into it, the cameras what we used, the K100, what was actually the Patterson Gimlin film filmed on, and other films which he's got off Roger, he owned at the time, so that comes true. Now, when he looked into it and started going frame by frame, he noticed when the K100 was taking the actual film, there was about 5 to 6 stop starts in it, which I was shocked at, to be honest. It was like a K100 has a couple of settings at the side, and it was on a pistol grip as well. And if you watch Bill Munns, he runs you through it, how he thinks it's actually to, and it does match what he's actually saying. I know he can make it fit, but it does. Where the first setting on the camera, you drop it down and it's stop start, and the second is you press it down twice and it's click and it goes, and it just keeps going until you click it again. So it does look like Sunday as actually as shock as you would go first click, just press and just get it on film. So it does run true, to be honest. But the thing I want to mention is I was watching the Flash of Beauty channel, and I think it was in 1995 they actually did Hypnotise Bob. Now, interestingly, he says at one point something very, very interesting, and he says we came round the corner in Bluff Creek and it was there. Now, I've heard this before, and me and Mick have talked about this, where say something like a Sasquatch is doing something in the river, looking at trees, whatever, digging, whatever, a bit like Chris Turner. If you've not got Chris Turner on your actual radar, Chris Turner Films, he actually did Elusive, and he actually went over to Scotland and spoke to a lady who'd seen it twice. I think her name was Charmaine, and the first time she saw it, she came across it and it was looking in the tree, looking at a leaf apparently. So it looks like their observation around when they're doing something is not that good. So it would fit with the actual Patterson-Gimbalin film, to be honest. Now, the other thing is about it is, have you seen where Bluff Creek is? It's like Six Rivers National Forest, and it's in the middle of nowhere. So if you were hoaxing something, why would you go and get 2 horses and a pack pony and go all that distance to just fake something? It doesn't run true, to be honest. But the thing also what gets me about it is, getting back to Bill Munns, that he was saying that the actual posture of how it walks is different to a human, and also as well that he has never known to this actual present day where you can fit a human head into that kind of suit, because it slopes down, so you wouldn't be able to do it, which is interesting in itself. I mean, don't forget, he actually builds suits, and you know, he kind of, well, he'll know, won't he, basically. But the thing what gets me about this is the person you've got to really watch and listen to is Jeff Meldrum. Now, Jeff is a PhD doctor, obviously, and he's done autopsies on animals, apes, chimpanzees and whatnot, and he knows the bone structure. Now, the thing what gets me is everybody says, yeah, it's the Patterson-Gimbalin film, and yeah, oh, it's amazing, you watch it, you think, you know, oh, it's a hoax, it's a hoax. But the thing is as well, that people forget at that time, it left 10 footprints in the sandbars, sorry. And the sandbars were not like a sand, they were like a flint. So they give a really good print. It's a bit like the Blue Mountains in America. When it's wet, it's like clay, and when it's dry, it's like flour. So you get a really good imprint. But in the early years, stepping back, you've all seen the Himalayan ones where it's got the ice pick and the footprint. I think that was the late 1950s. Well, round about that time, there was a guy who was called Gerald Crew, and he must have been something to do with the logging side of things. And when he got to the site one day, round his tractor with his big footprints, so he did a cardboard cutout, took it to a taxidermist who looked at it and said, what have you got? And they thought, I think on the lines of it was a lost tribe or whatever, I don't know, I think that's what they said. And this taxidermist said, look, this is, if it happens again, or you can, get the print. And they showed him how to do a cast, and they tipped the papers. Gerald was there taking a picture, you know, of the actual black and white. So that also was in Bluff Creek, funny enough. So you've got the Patterson-Gimbalin film as well. But getting back to Jeff Meldrum, he was saying it's more or less, he thinks it's on the real side because there's a part, what's called the mid-tarsal, the pressure ridge, right across the bottom. It's at the front where the pad is there. It's just across the back there. Now, the way I think he's trying to say it is, on ours it's distinctive. It's like a bridge arch on our actual foot. Now, the way he's saying it is, it's kind of hidden under, not a flat foot, but like a bald foot. Because Bigfoot, apparently, when you see it running up a mountain, people say, God, it went up a mountain as if it weren't there. That's why, because they're actually, evolution has brought them up into the environment. We, as us in the woodlands or forest, look lost, but a Bigfoot, Sasquatch, doesn't. So it runs and basically uses its toes as a traction, not as actual using it for leverage. But you can actually see that Jeff Meldrum says you can actually see in the Patterson Gimlin film that actual point of break and that movement. And he said to do that in 1960 is really, it's impossible. You'd just do a flat suited costume. That's what you'd do. But, you know, I mean, you can go on and on about things, but it's interesting. Very interesting indeed. But the thing is as well, would you make something a lot harder than what it actually is, to be fair? And what I mean by that is, if you were doing a suit, you wouldn't do a female suit, would you, with breasts? But interestingly, at the Patterson Gimlin film itself, as it comes to the famous shot of where it's turning its head and looking towards the actual camera, it steps down and it's unbalanced, and if you watch the breasts, they actually do move. Now, that's interesting in itself, that, you know, they actually move. There's some things what it's more real than hoax when it's actually coming to light now. This is what I mean about looking more into it. But the other thing as well, which I thought about the other day, if you were doing a suit and a suit so well, or a costume, why would you need to actually turn and look at the camera? You wouldn't need to, would you? You'd just be walking away into the distance and you were off. That's all you'd be filming, really. You wouldn't want to go into more detail of the face and the eyes and the crow's feet around the eyes, which now digital AI has actually revealed that it has. But don't forget that Jeff Meldrum has been seeing old footage before it even went digital. So, you know, why would you make a suit like that? I mean, it doesn't come, but you would actually if it was real. It's like us, if we're kind of walking through the woods and we see something move, a dog, whatever, a dog walker, we would actually look and turn and see that target. Now, is that what actually happened? That something like the actual Sasquatch in the Patterson Gimlin film was real, and it turned because it was real in a sense, it was keeping its eye on that target. That's what you would do. It's a threat. We know that. We know that for a fact. We know that Sasquatch, if they exist, that we're a threat. That's why they keep away. That's the main, you know, you can't blame them, because it's like I said at the beginning of this film, it's how the world is at the moment. But yeah, so like I say, I just wanted to go over a couple of things and make you think, and like I say, comment below. I'd love to know more, to be honest. I mean, getting back to Bill Munn's, just have a drink. Getting a bit dry. Bill Munn's, does he actually, or has he actually seen a Bigfoot? No, but he actually heard of an active place in Canada, and he went over and he visited and he spoke to a guy who'd seen it, and he actually stood face to face with it for about a minute. Now, if that's not saying it's, you know, if that's a true story, which, you know, Bill Munn's is very genuine, for what you can see on the actual telly, and videos and YouTube and whatever, it's very interesting. Now, the other thing is, does Jeff Meldrum think it's real? He says he went to an expedition in Canada again, funny enough. I think it was towards Vancouver way, and he went with Todd Standing. Now, we know in the past what's been said about Todd Standing, and I'm not going to go into that, but the thing is about it that Jeff spoke very highly of Todd Standing, so I can't say any more on that. But he said basically one night around the camp they heard noises and he got his thermal out, but unfortunately it weren't an actual thermal where you can record. and he said he saw something which was about 8 foot tall going through the trees. And the following morning they actually tracked it for a mile, the footprints, and then they just disappeared. But you know, I mean, when you look at the Patterson-Gimlin film, you're looking at a creature which is probably 14 to 16 inch footprints left in the sandbar, which is weighing probably up to about 700 pounds. Now they have been seen up to about 10 foot. Now the 10 foot, they've got to be around nearly 1,200 pounds, they've got to be. So to make impressions, you know, I mean, how would you actually make impressions? You could actually probably get somebody who really knows what they're doing. If you found a footprint of a Sasquatch and you could get the depth, you could probably work out the weight of the actual creature itself. But yeah, so I just wanted to make you think a bit. I know I've not put stuff on my channel for a bit, but the way I wanted it to work basically was I've got 2 jobs, which is the same thing, but it's 2 jobs in 2 different places. I wanted to knock one on the head, so I was only left with one, basically, and come and do a bit more of this side of things. But I just can't do it out at the moment, so there's probably going to be less stuff on my channel this year until towards the end of this year, where kind of things wrap up and we get out. I've been talking to Mick, we are going to get out and away from Lancashire, and we've got some plans, so keep your eye on Mick McLaren's channel and obviously mine, Paranormal Visitors. And I can't say thank you from the heart enough, to be honest. I've not been putting stuff on, but I actually have getting more subscribers, so I can't say thanks enough. I just cannot say thanks enough. It's shocking, to be honest. Like I say, I don't do it for the subscribers, but I try and do it to get the truth out there. I mean, when we set up WIT, it's around about 5 or 6 years ago now, I always said to Mick at the start, we'll always be small, and he said, why'd you say that? I said, because we're genuine. We're really genuine, and I said, a lot of people don't like, for some reason, genuine researchers. Why? I don't know. Plus, I've spoke to somebody else who's in our actual group, and they says they love hoaxers. Why? I just can't weigh it up. So more hoaxers get more views than genuine people. What is the world coming to? But there again, what's the world we're in at the moment? That little bubble. But yeah, so the hoaxers, anybody who hoaxes, you're making our job 10 times harder. Why you do it, I don't know, but please stop. I do think you're an embarrassment, and people, we know it's happening. You know, people like, say for instance, you're doing a film, you set up an actual camp, and then at night when you're supposed to be looking for whatever subject, you're actually floating back off to luxury in an hotel room. Why? I don't know, but please, it's just a crap pot. You're not researchers. You might be getting the viewers, sorry, you might be getting the views, but it's not genuine, is it? You know, to get to the top and not be genuine, why bother? Why bloody bother? Yeah, so you've got to stick with us. You've got to stick with Paul Sinclair, Truth Proof, Chris Turner films. You've just got to stick with the genuine ones. So we keep trying, and like I said, I'm not going to babble on, but I just wanted to get that out there. And I hope you like the little bit of the backdrop this morning. Like I say, it's early, but sometimes you've got to get out and, you know, blow the cobwebs away. So on that note, thanks again to all the subscribers. Thanks again for just the viewers. If you just view and don't subscribe, I'm not bothered. But yeah, so please comment below on this subject. I've also, when I've discussed with Nick on this next video you're going to see, which I surprised him, we were down here the other weekend. If you've watched Mick McLaren's channel, you'll see we were down here. So I didn't want to tell him anything about it. I surprised him, and obviously he's going to tell you his thoughts on the PG film. But yeah, so on that note, I'm going to leave you to it. But what I did say to Mick is, capturing Bigfoot, I'm not going to watch it. But Mick says, as investigators, we should. I said, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. I said, you watch it when it comes out. I think it comes out on the 15th of April. That's if it does come out, with all the talk what's going in the Bigfoot world. It might get, you know, I don't know. But yeah, so I said, you watch it, and then if you're convinced that there is something in it, then I'll watch it. But to me, I'm not interested in watching it, to be fair. But like I said, leave your views behind at the bottom of this screen, and we'll have a bit of a chat and a discussion. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I've given you a little bit of if you're on your breakfast this morning. It's the 12th of April. So if you're watching it today, it is actually Sunday morning. You're actually watching it on the day it was filmed. So what time is it? 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock now. So I've been babbling on long enough, and I'm going to love you and leave you. But a little thought what came into my head the other day is that don't be scared of the, I'm not going to say that one, I'm going to say, do you not think us as humans at the present time are feeling a lot more alone? Just have a think about that. Okay, I'll leave you on that, and I'll speak to you soon. Fingers crossed, but like I say, I'll try my best to get out with Mick and, you know, the crew, Wit, and yeah, so I'll see you soon. Bye bye from now, and bye bye from Wit. Thanks for watching.
What we're talking about.
Right, exactly right. Let's see. Right, I just wanted to kind of surprise people, really, and I wanted their take on what's been talked about most in the Bigfoot sector at the moment. This new film, what's called, come out. So I just wanted Mick to say his thoughts on, I know probably you people are watching it as us being investigators. Some people might be looking at it and saying, well, I wonder what Mick and Lee think about, you know, what's going on, the kind of thing. So this is our chance, and Mick knows nothing about this, so I thought I'd surprise him and get his take on what does he think about Bigfoot, the Patterson-Gilman film being took in 1967, but this new footage what's been found in 1966. What's his take on people now saying it's a hoax? So what do you say, Mick?
Right, yeah, you have sprung this one on, haven't you? It's a good job I've been doing my homework.
I knew you would be doing, I knew you would be doing, because he actually put on the Wit page that, have you seen this, this'll throw the spanner in the works. They're the exact words what he said, so I just thought I'd say, you know, and get Mick's take on it first of all.
Well,
But hang on, just before we start,
go on.
Before this came up, did you think it was a hoax, or did you think it was real?
I was.
You can join in if you want.
I was.
No.
I was on the fence with this because I don't. Yeah, I was on the fence. I didn't know whether it was an hoax or whether it was true. So, well, you'll get some people who, you know, who were off that top of that fence, one on one side, one on the other. And you can see the arguments brewing already over this, but all I can say with people who are arguing about this, I think before arguing they need to go and see the documentary.
Yes.
Because I think that's the only way. Let the documentary you know, think for them, let them watch it first and see whatever, you know, whatever the information comes to them. But from what I've listened to online from someone who's actually gone and watched this, You know, they've had to come online and show the ticket to prove that they did go and watch it, because he's having so many people having a go at him.
Yeah,
now,
like the lanyard thing,
yeah,
and you know.
some of the people who are having a go at him are the people from these television programs that are making money from the Bigfoot. The idea of Bigfoot being out there, you know, exhibition Bigfoot and all them. And some of them are having a go at him. Now, all he's done is gone watching it, and he's come online looking very, very disappointed and fed up about it being an hoax. But you've got family members who have come forward, family members from Patterson, who were behind this documentary, and he did say to his family members that he was coming out and he was going to do this.
Yes.
But my thoughts on it, people need to watch it and form their own opinions, and not listen to all the rumours that are going around.
True,
watch
true.
it, that's the only way you're going to find out.
True.
Because you've got Gimlin who's talking on there, and and apparently I've not seen it, so I can't really say 100% this is right, but Gimlin has said, yeah, he thinks it's time, more or less, not his exact words, but he thinks it's time he should come out and tell the truth.
Right.
But
Okay.
with persuasion from his wife, that interview he was going to have in this documentary didn't happen because his wife told him not to do it. That's what I've taken from listening to what this fella would do, who went watching it. But I can't really say because I've not seen it yet.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll probably have more of an opinion when I've seen it.
Right. Okay.
And I'm going to leave it at that because I can't really speculate anything else.
But like I said, before this actually came out that it was a hoax, or you know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
real. What do you think?
Yeah, like I said, I've always been on that fence. I didn't know whether it was true or not.
Right, I'm with you.
No.
Right. Okay.
And saying that, with this documentary, you've got what seems to be Patterson and Gimli. They're actually out there doing a video, and what they notice in this documentary is that this video they're working on before this original footage came out seems to be they were working on it, and there's a bit where apparently this Bigfoot looks round a tree, and it's his exact same suit what they think that this person was wearing. That's in the original footage of Patty going across a riverbank.
Right. Okay. Well, I'd heard that years ago, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I think that's supposed to be another part of the film what people have not seen from the
Yeah.
original Patterson's Gimblin film. But basically, as soon as I saw it, and you're the one who kind of made it stick out because I'd not heard anything about it. But when you put that on Wit and on Facebook, I thought it was a money thing straight away. Because the way I look at it is that I've always thought it's been real. The only downer on it, I would say, what surprised me is when we actually are looking for Bigfoot, you've seen people all through the woods and thingy. You've got the Olympic project, which is running 24/7, and they've still not caught it on film. But to see something to go across Bluff Creek, that's the only thing what stands out to me when I first saw it. I thought, how lucky, what's the chances of a Bigfoot just walking in front of the camera? That's the only thing. But there again, I've always thought it was true, because in 1960s, where could you get a suit where you could see muscle movement, backbone, the way it walks, every kind of aspect that you would think it's, you know, the suit, it's so shiny. What material would they use to be so shiny?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
In the 60s?
Yeah, but they were working on a video anyway, weren't they? They were working on the Bigfoot video. No matter, you know, like whatever anyone says about this, no matter what, we do know people have had sightings.
Yes.
So whether this is true or not true, whether it's an hoax or not,
There's thousands of people.
there's still reports out there. These things are still out there, no matter what. This shouldn't change anything.
Right.
Only what thing it'll do is cause a division within the Bigfoot community.
Right, but the thing I think is also is when the film was actually the Patterson-Gimblin film, how many people straight away jumped onto the bandwagon? Let's see if we can reenact it. Let's see if we can make a suit and reenact it. Now, do you not think that what they're saying now, what they're actually saying is the Patterson-Gimblin film was in '67, but the actual film stamped was 1966.
Yeah, that's when it was filmed, '66.
Yes, but how do we know? Because if you got...
Yeah, the reason we know this, or the reason the experts know this, is because when a film reel comes out, there's certain patterns on, and that's how they know what year it was filmed and what year that was actually that film was processed.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like getting a packet of biscuits. It has a sell-by date on. You could eat all them biscuits and still keep the box.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I used to say, it was filmed. It's filmed
these
on
patterns.
that. Yes.
They're on the reel itself.
Yeah, but it's filmed in 1966. But is the film been on the shelf till '68 before it's used?
67. No, it's been editing.
Yeah, but
They've been
what I'm
editing,
saying is,
haven't they?
what I'm saying is, after the Patterson-Gimblin film in '67, what says somebody's got an old '66 film in '68 and reenacted it, and that's the film what's come to light. It's like I said, even though it's
no,
stamped,
because they're in it. Patterson and Gimlin.
Yeah, but they could be after. They could be after.
No, this was filmed before.
Yeah, but how do we know?
Because, like I said, these symbols that are on.
Yeah, but that's a '66 film. But how do we know that was filmed like today now? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what I'm trying to explain is when they make film, when the reels what they make, so they know what year that was actually produced.
Yeah,
they have symbols on.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the film.
Well, that's how they know, because if you got one of them and filmed it on one of them now today, they'd know that film was produced in that era, but it wouldn't work with anything today, would it?
No, it
unless
wouldn't work.
You've got
no.
the old camera.
But
as
what
well.
I'm saying is, how do we know? Say it was filmed on the 1st of September 1966. How do we know it was filmed on the 1st of September 1966? You could have had all film on the shelf, and then after the Patterson-Gimblin film come out, they've grabbed it, they've filmed a reenacting of it, right? But it makes it look like it was in '66.
But why would they do that?
Well, it's just a film they probably pulled. I don't know.
But that doesn't explain why the original film has got Patty in it, and then this other film has got the same look in it. It's got the same shape head. It's got the breast, it's got the muscle tone.
Yeah, but how can it be? Because the thing is as well, what people have done, and Bill Munns, who's like a costume designer of Hollywood and probably the greatest person to do costumes, he says, no, it can't be done. Because the reason is, if you put a human head onto the actual footage of the Patterson-Gimblin film, a human head would not fit in that suit.
We won't know until let's watch the video, because you
yeah,
can't,
that's what I'm saying.
Can't,
that's why I just want the take on it.
We've got to watch that. But again, when you look at remember the old 66, 67, 68 Planet of the Apes. Remember that what they used to have. How like the makeup that they had there was absolutely brilliant.
But like I said, I just wanted this little bit of a debate. I mean, as well, they keep saying that Patterson-Gimblin has said, yeah, it was fake. But a lot of people didn't. Well, he's in his 90s now and he's got dementia. Now, how many people with dementia are saying the right things as well? You know what I mean? It's like, it's dementia. That's why it's called dementia. It's there's things what are popping up where I think it's more of a money thing. I mean, Patterson-Gimblin's son, who said, yeah, I'm going to bring it out, he never got on with him.
No, there was a big fallout.
There was a big fallout. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is this, after he's passed away, kind of a money thing to escalate money? It just seems funny how it's popped out of the blue.
Who is it? Gimlin's son, or is it Patterson's son?
I think it's Gimbal's son, isn't it?
You know, I can't remember now.
Yeah.
But yeah, all I can say, again, people watch it and make their own minds up, and let's see what goes on from there. But no matter what, people have, you know, there can't be all these people out
No,
there
there can't be thousands. There's thousands of sightings, strange.
Yeah, there is something weird going on.
Yeah, there is something going on. I think, like I've always said, the only people who really know are the Indians, and they used to trade with them. So anyway, we'll wait for that, but I just thought to pop that on to Mick as a surprise and then just see what he said, you know what I mean? But I think basically, I've often thought that it's more than likely I'm more over the fence that it's real, and Mick says he's on the fence, so that's the way you know that we're thinking in the way of, you know, investigators. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope Mick did.
Yeah, springing things on me.
Springing it on him. Right, thanks for that. I'll speak to you soon. There you go.